President,
Yes.
if you could speak directly to those voters who lost everything and then went to the polls and voted, what would you say to them?
Well, the first thing I'd say is, we love you, because that's really something special, really. For them to do that, I was surprised. I figured we'd have 50%, 30% of the vote. We had record votes compared to the last elections, last presidential elections even. But compared to any election, and you know, you're reporting on it also. I think you were probably surprised like I was. But I would just say you're special people. These are special people. These are people with heart. These are people that love your state. They love our country. Very special people. I would have been, I mean, honestly, I would have been happy if we had 50%. How can it be possible? And these tend to be Trump areas. I mean, not to get too political, but they tend to be very Trump areas. And that the people would come out like that, I think it's a great sign. It's a great sign.
Devastation compared to what you've seen previously?
Well, I've seen some pretty bad devastation. I've seen the tornado devastations, and they're pretty incredible. This is much more spread out, but you would see a line like it was cut by a razor blade of a tornado that went through an area, and it was literally a foot left, it was perfect, and a foot right, it was down to dirt, big trees ripped out and thrown, you know, miles away, the power of the tornado. So I've seen that, but that was a much narrower thing, but you certainly didn't want to be in the way of it. I've seen trailer parks where they were there and very nice, and they were literally, there wasn't a thing left. The pipes were ripped out of the ground. So I've seen some pretty bad ones. I've seen some really bad ones, yeah.
President, what is your message to the undecided about the year that you've seen here?
1 second, please.
The devastation that you've seen here and that you've seen in Florida and Georgia, does it incline you in any way toward more drastic acts of climate change?
Well, climate change, you know, we want, as I say, we want crystal clear, beautiful water, and we want clean air. And we had that during the Trump administration, but we also had the best job numbers in the history of our country. We weren't losing jobs. We want, in terms of climate change, because when you look at the rest of the world and you look at China and you look at the fact that they spent no money on climate change, I mean, John Kerry goes over and he speaks to President Xi, and they yes him, and then laugh at him as he leaves, and they do what they're doing. We spend a lot of money in this country. You know, we have to. It's a double entendre. But you know what? I'll tell you what. We had the cleanest air on record, and we had the cleanest water on record, and that's very important. And we also had the best economy in the history of our country. So we had everything going well. And yeah, so I'm very much into that, but I really focus on the water and the air. Very important. Yes, ma'am, please. Independent voters? Oh, undecided? Well, it's hard to believe you have undecided voters. I do hear about them, but you possibly do. But I think, look, if you believe in what's happening with the polls, if you believe in what's happened, they have a new phenomenon now, we'll call them the betting polls. I don't know if people are gambling on them. I can't imagine that's a proper thing to do, but perhaps they are. But one of them just came out, I guess the big one, we're 63 to 33, something like that. That's a pretty big margin. I don't know if they know what they're doing. I have no idea who they are, but it's a very big poll. They quote it all the time on television. And we're at 63, and they're in the 30s, meaning they, meaning her. But I don't think she's qualified to be running. I really don't. And I think she is a threat to democracy, our democracy, the way they took it away from Biden. And I'm not a fan of Biden, but remember this, he got 14 million votes. She got no votes, and she was, in fact, the first one to quit out of 22 people. And she's running. So, you know, you would call that probably a threat to democracy. But we seem to be doing very well in the polls. Thank you. Yeah, please. Yes. Well, I've gone 52 days without a day off, which all of these people would respect, but they do it the same because they're just like, we're called workers, right? We're workers. For better or worse, we're workers. I don't know if it's the best thing. We didn't have to be. A lot of them didn't have to be. I didn't have to be. I could have been on a beautiful beach, but I'd much rather be right here with you because we're going to turn the country around. Beyond the area, we're going to turn the whole country around. Look, my message is that I've been going full blast. Yesterday, you saw that. We had early in the morning till late in the evening, we left the football game. We went to a McDonald's yesterday. That was quite a stop. That was quite a stop, though. We had thousands and thousands. They had 25,000 people around circling the building. I wouldn't say that Secret Service was thrilled, but that's the way it is. It was a love fest, though. It was incredible, and it did take off. It took off, and then we did 2 more stops. We did a town hall, big town hall, with Sage and some people, and it was very successful. But no, the McDonald's stop was very unique. There's no question about that. They really, I'm sure McDonald's liked it, but it just took off. You know, you never know about life, and you never know what's good, what's bad. You do something that's going to be great, it's okay, and you do something that's supposed to be okay. This was supposed to be a routine stop, and it turned into a monster, but it was a beautiful monster. There was a lot of love. I'll be doing the same thing. I'm going to be campaigning. I have no days off, so I'll be going into the 60s or 70s in terms of no days off. I don't want a day off. We have to win. We have to win. We have to save our country, and we have to just make America great again. That's the message, and it's a simple message, and everybody behind me believes in it just as strongly as I do. I know every one of these people, either through who they are or what they do. I know every one of them. They're hardworking people, they're great people, and they love our country. And